Hi, my name is Noah Gift, and what I'm going to talk about today is how to use C# and .NET 6 to build out AI APIs using the AWS Cloud Platform. In particular, we're going to dive into AWS Comprehend, which allows us to do things like detect entities, do sentiment analysis, analyze documents. And what's great about it is that it's a fairly straightforward workflow using C# and .NET 6. And the main thing to take away is that we're going to use the await keyword. And this is really enables a lot of the APIs that are available on the AWS platform. Okay, let's go ahead and get started. Here I'm inside of Visual Studio 2022, and I'm going to start off my journey with the AWS Comprehend SDK by going to File, New, and creating a new project. I'm going to create a console application because this allows me to create a command line tool that I can use to explore the SDK. Great. Now that I've got that going, I'm going to call this something. We'll call this Comprehend. Okay, perfect. And I'm going to target .NET 6. I want to get the latest .NET framework here. Perfect. Okay, so we got the hello world. Let's just go ahead and run this so that we make sure everything's working properly. And it is. So I got a hello world here in the Visual Studio debug console. So the next thing that I'm going to do is I want to start to build out something that uses their natural language processing capabilities. So the first thing I'm going to have to do is get that SDK, and I'm going to use the Nuget package manager to do that. So we'll go over to Manage Nuget Packages for Solution. There we go. And all I need to do is look for Browse, and you can see here that there's nothing installed. I'm going to go to Browse, and I'm going to look for Comprehend. And let's go ahead and find this. And here we go. We have the AWS SDK for Comprehend. It's nice that it shows me a lot of information about that particular SDK. It says Amazon Comprehend is an AWS service for gaining insight into the content of text and documents. And there's more documentation that we could go to as well if you look at the official SDK documentation and even some code examples. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select this. This will install it into our project, and I'll go ahead and select install. So very straightforward process to actually get this running in your solution. And now that I've got this, I can start coding it up. So the first thing I'm going to need to do is just get rid of all this stuff, and we'll say using system here. And what's nice again is the autocomplete is quite nice. And then this is where I'm going to make an instance of that SDK I pulled in, and I'll say Amazon.comprehend. Perfect. And then I'll do, it's almost so smart it knows what I'm going to type ahead of time, is we do want to do this Amazon Comprehend model. All right, now let's build a namespace. And then for this, I'm going to go ahead and build a namespace Comprehend. There we go. And then next up, what I can do is build out the rest of the program. And just for speed here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through here and paste up a program I've already got written here. So let's go ahead and do this, and I'll go ahead and walk through it. So a few things to point out here is that I build out a class called program, and this is very important for the AWS SDK, is that I tell the initial main method here to use async task, and this allows us to do basically asynchronous operations. And once I've got this set up, then we're ready to go. I go ahead and say console.writeLine AWS AI API sentiment detector. And I like to do this with the console apps is add environment.newline so that it makes it nice and neat. And then I go over here and I say var phrase, and this allows us to accept something from readline. And then here's the magic. I go through here and I say detect sentiment. And then with Amazon Comprehend client, I go through and I make a new instance of the Comprehend client, right? So this is the magic. And then I go through here and I say calling detect sentiment. Once I do that, then I need to be able to generate a request. And so this is where I would pass in the phrase. And this again is grabbed from the user. I also need to tell the Comprehend SDK what language to use. In this case, I'm going to say English. And then I go through here and I build out the response and I say I want to use a wait and I want to detect the sentiment and then pass in that request. Once I've got that, we're ready to go, and I will get back a detect sentiment response.sentiment. This is the JSON payload that I will want to do something with, and I'll go ahead and print this out using console.writeline, and then at the very end I'll say done. So we're ready to run this application, and I'm going to go through here and I'm going to go ahead and select start without debugging, and I'm going to bring over the window and we can check out what's happening. Okay, here we go. We've got the window. Type in a phrase for analysis. Sure, let's go ahead and do that. Say, today is a beautiful day at the beach, but it is very cold at 40 degrees. There we go. I paste this in, calling detect sentiment. It says mixed, and the reason why it's mixed is because I said something positive and I also said something a little less positive. We can see that this thing is working successfully. So really, in a nutshell, it's very straightforward to use the AWS Comprehend SDK as long as you use the async methods that are available to you in the SDK.